close your eyes, dear listener. Tonight we drift back into forgotten temples, where the air was heavy with incense and soft chants rose to the stars. Ancient cults once gathered here, whispering prayers to divine women, goddesses, priestesses, and mothers of mystery. Their stories were not of punishment and fear, but of power, healing, and devotion. By the quiet light of memory, we will wander through sacred deserts, moonlit groves, and golden shrines where these women were honored as more than human, yet closer to the heart than gods. As the night unfolds, let us move slowly, like a candle flame swaying in the dark, through these gentle tales of ancient devotion. If this journey brings you peace, let your spirit rest with us again. Subscribe to return to these nightly pilgrimages, and if your heart is awake for just a moment, whisper in the comments where you are listening from, so we may all drift together across oceans and time. The night is quiet. Only the gentle rhythm of your breath moves through the silence. You are lying still, eyes closed, as a soft veil of imagination begins to fall. In this quiet, a world begins to form, a world much older than memory, a world when fire was new, when the first stones were carved, and when the human heart looked to the skies and felt the presence of something greater. The earth was vast then. The forests stretched endlessly, dark and green. The rivers were untamed, winding through valleys with voices of their own. The mountains lifted their faces to the stars, and the stars seemed closer than they do now. Each sound of nature carried mystery. The howl of wolves, the cry of birds, the whisper of wind in the tall grass. Yet in such a world, people searched for meaning, and in their search they found her. The mother, the first goddess, the fertile one, the bringer of life, the endless womb from which all being flows. Imagine a small fire glowing in the center of a circle. Around it, shadows move. Men and women sit close, wrapped in furs. They speak little, for the night is full of power. One of them holds a small figure carved from stone. It is not large, but it is heavy with meaning. The figure is round, full, abundant, a woman's form made with careful hands. The first goddess resting in their palms. She was not just an idea. She was the earth beneath their feet. She was the rain that fed their crops. She was the animal that gave milk and the field that bore grain. Every child was her child. Every mother was her reflection. Every cave was her womb. The people felt her in everything that lived, and even in what died. Drift deeper into this vision. See the stone figure as it is passed from hand to hand. Each person touches it with reverence. Each person feels a warmth in their chest, a calm in their bones. The night around them is wide, but in this small circle they are safe. They are held by her presence. She was called by many names in later times. In Sumer, she was Ninhursag, Lady of the Mountains. In Egypt, she was Isis, Mother of Magic. In Greece, she became Demeter, and then Gaia, and then countless others. But in this early moment, she had no name. She was only the mother, the first goddess, the eternal one. Soft winds brush through tall grasses. The stars overhead shimmer gently. The tribe listens to the crackle of fire. They know that life is fragile. The hunt may fail. The winter may be cold. But when they look at the figure of the goddess, they feel hope. They feel that life always returns, as the seasons return, as the sun returns after night. The goddess is the promise that nothing is lost forever. Now imagine her in another form, the great earth itself. Rolling hills, wide valleys, endless plains. Her body is the ground you lie upon. Her breath is the wind that moves through trees. Her hair is the river flowing to the sea. Her heartbeat is the drum of thunder. Everywhere she is present. She is never far away. You drift further back, into caves lit only by torches. On the walls, people paint images of animals. Bison, horses, deer. They move across the stone as if alive. And here, too, symbols of the goddess appear. Circles, spirals, shapes of birth and womb. Her mystery marked in firelight. She was always with them. Feel her presence now. She is not far from you. The goddess lives not only in the past, but in the soil beneath your home, in the water you drink, in the warmth that comforts you. She is the ancient pulse of the world. She is the hush that comes when night is deep. She is the softness you feel as your eyes grow heavy. The tribe by the fire begins to sing. Low voices humming together, a slow rhythm like the heartbeat of the earth. Their song rises into the dark sky. They do not know the stars as we do. They do not name them, measure them, or study them. They only feel their glow, and they sing to them as if they are sisters, as if the stars, too, are daughters of the goddess. The song fades, the fire burns low, One by one, the people lie down upon the earth. They sleep beneath the open sky, trusting that the goddess holds them. The figure of stone rests by the fire. Her shape watches, silent, eternal. The night deepens. Dreams come, so too do you drift, like them, carried by the warmth of an unseen mother, carried by the earth itself. Every breath is her breath. Every beat of your heart is her gift. Let the story slow even more. Let your thoughts quiet. The goddess does not demand. She does not test. She only holds, like a river holds a boat, like a mother holds a child, like the night holds the stars. You rest in her, safe, gentle, timeless. Now the story softens to silence. The fire fades. The tribe dreams. The earth is still, and you drift deeper, deeper still. The dawn of the goddess has come again, in memory, in breath, in dream. She is with you. Always, now rest as the stars return. And let us drift onward, into the next tale. The desert lies under a veil of twilight. Soft winds brush across the sand. The sky is a deepening blue, and the first stars appear like tiny lamps in the heavens. The air carries a quiet hum, as if the earth itself is waiting. In this stillness, a story begins to unfold. It is the story of Inanna, queen of heaven and earth. Her temples once rose in the lands of Mesopotamia, where rivers flowed like silver threads through fields of grain. She was loved as a goddess of love, of war, of fertility, of all that makes life bloom and burn. But the tale that lingers most softly is her descent, her journey downward into the silent realm beneath the world. Imagine her standing at the gates of twilight. Her crown glimmers faintly in the fading sun. Her robe flows like starlight woven into cloth, and her eyes look far away, into the unseen darkness below. She has chosen to descend into the underworld. Her steps will take her where no mortal may go, and few gods dare to follow. She walks to the first gate. The guardian greets her in silence. He tells her that she must lay down her crown, the circle of gold upon her head. Inanna does not resist. She bows, removes the crown, and steps forward. Without her crown, she is still herself, but lighter, humbler. At the second gate, another guardian waits. Here, her necklace is taken. The gems that once glowed like constellations are removed from her neck. Her heart feels bare, yet she walks onward. The path is long, but her courage is steady. At the third gate, her breastplate is removed. The armor that once protected her heart is gone. She feels exposed, vulnerable, yet she does not turn back. The air grows cooler, the shadows deepen, but still she descends. At the fourth gate, her bracelets are taken. The ornaments that once shone like rivers of silver fall away. Her hands are plain, her arms unadorned, and still she moves downward, one breath at a time. At the fifth gate, her robe is removed. Her flowing garment, symbol of her glory, is stripped from her. Now she stands in silence, her body open to the cold air. Yet she continues, for she has chosen this path. At the sixth gate, her golden ring is taken. The circle of promise, the symbol of eternity, slips away. Her hand feels empty. Still she goes onward. At the seventh and final gate, her crown of life is gone. She is left with nothing. No jewels, no garments, no symbols of power. She enters the underworld naked, humbled, and silent. The underworld is vast and still. No birds sing here. No wind moves, only the quiet of stone and shadow. The air is heavy, as if dreams themselves cannot rise. Inanna bows before the queen of the underworld, her sister Ereshkigal. Here, even the queen of heaven must kneel, for in the realm of shadow all are equal. Inanna lingers in this silence. Her body is still, her breath quiet. It is said she died here, her spirit hanging upon a hook in the cold dark. The world above mourned. The fields withered. The rivers slowed. The animals wandered restless. The people cried to the heavens. The earth could not flourish without her. But even in the deep dark, life waits. After 3 days, a rescue was sent. Messengers came, small and humble. They bowed before Ereshkigal and offered words of compassion. Their gentleness touched the Queen of Shadows. She agreed to release Inanna, to let her rise again, and so the journey reversed. Through each gate she returned. Her ring was placed back upon her hand. Her robe was wrapped again around her. Her bracelets returned, her breastplate, her necklace, her crown. Piece by piece, her glory was restored. Yet she was not the same. She had touched silence. She had known loss. She had become deeper, gentler, more complete. When she rose to the world above, the people rejoiced. The fields grew green again. The rivers flowed. The air was sweet once more. Inanna had descended, and she had risen. Her story became a cycle, like the seasons themselves. The fading of life and the return of spring. The silence of winter and the song of summer. The descent into dreams and the return to waking. Now close your eyes to the image of her journey. See the 7 gates as gentle thresholds, not of loss, but of surrender. The crown, the necklace, the robe, all are given away, one by one, until only the soul remains pure and quiet. This too is a lesson of sleep, for each night you descend. You set aside your thoughts, your worries, your burdens. You lay them down one at a time, until only your quiet self remains, ready to rest in silence. Inanna's descent is your descent. Her rising is your rising. The story is not far from you. It lives in your breath, in the stillness of your body, in the rhythm of your dreams. Now let the desert fade. The sand softens into mist. The stars above glow like gentle eyes watching over you. The night cradles you as the goddess was cradled. All is safe. All is soft. All is returning. Let us drift onward. Slowly, as the gates close behind us. Now rest as the stars return, and dream in the quiet of Inanna's silent descent. The night deepens. The air grows still. Only the soft hum of your own breath moves through the silence. You are safe, quiet, and at ease. The story opens again, like a candle being lit in the dark. Far away, beyond deserts and mountains, lies the river Nile. Its waters stretch like a ribbon of silver through the land. By day, it shines with the glow of the sun. By night, it reflects the calm of the moon. The Nile is more than a river. It is a lifeline, a flowing spirit. It carries songs, prayers, and dreams upon its surface. Upon these waters, the story of Isis is carried. She was called the Great Mother. She was healer, protector, and magician. Her presence was soft, yet strong. Her love reached into the depths of sorrow, and her hands carried the power to restore life. Picture the river at twilight. The reeds sway gently at its edge. The air smells of wet earth and lotus blossoms. The sun is just set, and the horizon glows faintly with gold. Here, in the quiet, Isis is remembered. Her temples once stood tall, their walls carved with stories of her grace. People came with offerings, not only for power, but for comfort. They whispered her name when hearts were heavy. They lit lamps to her when grief pressed like stone. The story tells that her beloved, Osiris, was taken from her. He was cut down, broken, and hidden away in the shadows of death. The world grew dim. The fields lost their color. The people mourned with her. But Isis did not give up. With patience and quiet strength, she searched for him, step by step, along the Nile, through marshes and hidden places. She sought the one she loved. She gathered his broken pieces, one by one, every fragment, every memory, every part of him. Her hands were gentle, like the touch of water smoothing stone. Her heart was steady, like the pulse of the earth. And when all was gathered, she used her magic, her breath, her love. She spoke words like soft rivers flowing. She wrapped him in care, as one wraps a child. And from her devotion, life stirred again. This was her gift, the power to restore, to heal, to awaken what was lost. She was not only a goddess of might, but of tenderness. Her magic was born not of command, but of love. It is said she whispered secrets of healing, spells spoken under moonlight, charms written in the air with breath. Her voice itself was medicine, soft as a lullaby, deep as the Nile. Imagine her standing by the water's edge. Her robe is white as moonlight. Her crown carries the symbol of the throne, for she is the seat of power. Her arms open as if to embrace the night itself. Behind her, the stars shimmer in silence. Before her, the river flows endlessly. She is the bridge between the living and the dead, between sorrow and hope. Her followers came with prayers. A mother prayed for her child. A farmer prayed for his land. A widow prayed for comfort. Isis listened to them all. No cry was too small. No grief too heavy. She was the one who turned tears into streams of healing. Soft winds move through the reeds. The scent of lotus drifts upward. The night is calm, as if the earth itself is resting in her arms. Even now her story feels close. Her spirit has crossed ages, carried like the Nile across the sands of time. She is remembered in whispers, in gentle rituals, in the quiet prayers spoken before sleep. Think of her as you rest. The gentle magician, the healer of brokenness, the comforter of the grieving. She does not speak loudly. She does not strike with force. Her magic is quiet, like water wearing a waystone. It is patient, like dawn returning after night. It is kind, like a hand resting on your shoulder when you need strength. Her story carries another truth, that love is a power stronger than death. That devotion can call back what seems lost. That gentleness can move mountains of grief. She reminds the heart that nothing is ever fully gone, that life flows in cycles, like the Nile, always returning, always renewed. Now breathe slowly, as if you are lying by the river. Hear the soft lapping of water against the shore. Feel the cool night air upon your skin. See the stars reflected in the water, tiny fires floating in the current. You are safe here. You are cradled in the same stillness that once held Isis. Her magic moves not in noise, but in silence. Not in storms, but in calm. Not in command, but in care. It moves like sleep itself, gentle, inevitable, carrying you downward into peace. The temples of Isis have faded into stone and dust, but her presence lingers, soft as a breath. It lives in every act of kindness. It lives in every healing touch. It lives in every moment when love restores what was broken. Now let the story fade like twilight on the river. Let the sound of flowing water guide you deeper into rest. You are drifting as the Nile drifts, slowly, gently onward, held by her magic, soothed by her love. The river flows endlessly, and so does the comfort of Isis. She is with you in shadow. She is with you in light. She is the mother, the healer, the gentle magician. Now let your breath fall soft. Let your thoughts grow light. And let us drift onward, into the next dream, into the next star, into the next story. High upon the shoulders of Greece, where mountains lift their heads into the sky, there lies Delphi. It is a place where stone meets silence, and silence meets the whisper of gods. Here the wind carries a weight both ancient and tender. It brushes through cypress and olive as if the air itself remembers. The traveler who came to Delphi would feel it before seeing. A hush, deep and steady, would descend. Even birds seemed to sing in softer tones. The path wound through wildflowers and scattered stones, until at last the temple appeared, white against the folds of green mountains. The temple of Apollo, god of light, music, and prophecy. At its center the flame burned. Smoke rose in quiet spirals, drifting upward like questions seeking their answer. And within, on the polished stone floor, sat the oracle, a woman, chosen, seated upon the sacred tripod above a deep hollow of the earth. From this hollow came vapors, unseen yet felt, a breath rising from the mountain's heart. It was said to open the mind to visions, to soften the veil between mortal and divine. You may rest now in this vision. You sit within the hall of Delphi, its shadows long, its air scented by laurel leaves. Candles flicker in rows along the walls, their flames bending with each sigh of wind. Priests step lightly, their feet making no sound upon the smooth stone. They carry bowls of water from the Castalian spring, for no word may be spoken here without purity. The oracle's eyes are half closed. Her breath slows, steady as the tide. A stillness gathers around her, as though time itself waits. The people who come kneel in quiet reverence. Kings, wanderers, and poets alike have bowed before this place, for all wish to know what lies ahead, what path must be walked. But here, in the calmness of night, let us see not kings or battles, but the gentleness within the oracle's gift. For the power of Delphi was not in thunder or command. It was in rhythm. It was in the way words rose like wind through ancient stones, carrying mystery in their softness. The oracle spoke not in plain phrases, but in images. Her voice was like water spilling from a hidden spring. At times it was broken, like fragments of dreams. At times it was clear, like moonlight upon still waters. The priests who stood nearby would catch her words, writing them carefully, carrying them outward into the world. But beneath the mystery, there was always gentleness. She did not speak to command, she spoke to open. Her words were a mirror, where the listener might see more of themselves. In this way, the temple was not only a place of answers, but of reflection. Imagine now the mountain air outside. The night is cool. Stars hang over Delphi like silver lamps. The river below hums softly as it moves over stone. Pilgrims lie in rest upon the ground, waiting for the dawn. They have washed in the sacred spring. They have left offerings of honey, wine, and laurel branches. And they dream, as you now dream, of voices rising in the smoke of the temple. Some dream of Apollo himself, radiant with a bow of gold. Some dream of a guiding bird, its wings whispering above. Some dream only of a path through the olive groves, sunlit and simple. All dreams are welcome here, for Delphi teaches that the divine may come as flame, or as feather, or as silence. The oracle herself was known as the Pythia, She was more than a woman, she was a vessel. Chosen, she lived a life shaped by stillness, prayer, and song. She sat upon the tripod not as herself, but as a doorway. When her lips moved, it was said the voice of Apollo drifted through. Yet listen closely. What made her sacred was not only the god she served, but the heart she carried. For prophecy is not thunder, it is listening. It is the courage to sit within mystery and to allow the unknown to speak. And so the Pythia teaches, there is magic in stillness. There is wisdom in quiet breath. To sit in silence is to sit at Delphi. To close the eyes is to let the smoke of the temple rise within. As the years turned, Delphi welcomed many. The wealthy laid down treasures of gold, but the simple pilgrim came as well, carrying nothing but faith. Both knelt upon the same stone floor, both bowed to the same flame. For here all were equal before the oracle. The temple itself echoed with time. Columns rose high, carved and strong. At sunrise, they glowed with fire, as if Apollo himself walked among them. At dusk, they dimmed into shadows, tender and soft. Through all hours, the oracle remained. Her breath steady, her words flowing, her presence like the heartbeat of Delphi itself. You may walk now in imagination along the sacred way. It winds upward through statues and altars, through offerings left by those who came before. Each stone holds a story, yet speaks in silence. Here, a carved lion. There, a tablet of prayers. And ahead, always, the temple, waiting in calm patience. The sacred way is not only a path through stone, it is a path within. Each step quiets the mind. Each turn leads deeper into the self. And at its end, the flame of Apollo glows, not to blind, but to warm. At times, the oracle's words were puzzling, shaped in riddles. This too was gentle wisdom. For riddles invite the heart to listen. They slow the restless mind, allowing space for thought to settle like dust upon still water. The answer perhaps is not given, but grown, and so many left Delphi with words still echoing in their minds. They carried them like seeds. Some seeds bloomed quickly, with sudden clarity. Others lay hidden, sprouting only years later. But all were part of the same sacred garden. Now let us drift again into the temple hall. The smoke rises, silver and soft. The oracle leans forward, her voice a low murmur, like leaves stirring in the wind. Her words move not outward but inward, not commanding but comforting, not frightening but steady, like the hand of night upon the shoulder of day. And you, resting here, may take this in. You need no question. You need no answer, only the rhythm, the calmness, the flow of words like a gentle river. You sit at Delphi, not as a pilgrim of the past, but as a dreamer of this quiet night. The mountains darken, the stars watch in silence. The sacred flame burns lower, yet does not fade. It is eternal, like the hush of sleep, like the slow beat of the heart. The oracle closes her eyes. The priests step back. The hall deepens into stillness once more. And all who came, all who dreamed, lie now in peace upon the earth. Their burdens softened, their thoughts stilled. The smoke of Delphi lingers in the air as though blessing the night with calm. Let us close here, in this silence. Let the temple fade into shadow, the mountains fold into night. The flame grows small, a star among stars. The sacred way rests, stones cooled by the evening air. The oracle's voice drifts away like smoke upon wind. You are carried now, gently, into sleep. Like those pilgrims long ago, you rest beneath the stars of Delphi. The night enfolds you, the earth supports you. The heavens watch over you, let us drift onward. Now rest as the stars return, the night is gentle. Above the mountains, the silver moon rises, full and round, scattering light across the darkened world. The forest stirs, but it does not wake. It moves in whispers, in shadows, in quiet breath. This is the realm of Artemis, the huntress, the guardian, the one who walks where no footsteps are heard. She is both flame and stillness, both bowstring and silence. And tonight, beneath the veil of the forest, she moves unseen. Her presence felt in the hush of trees and the gaze of the wild. The air smells of pine and earth. It is cool and clean, carrying the faint sweetness of moss. Mist coils low between the trunks, like soft white fabric draped across the ground. The stars are far above, yet the moon shines closer, as though watching over every creature below. In this light, the forest becomes a temple. The branches stretch high, like carved pillars. The wind is the choir moving gently through the leaves. And Artemis herself is the priestess of this living shrine, moving where shadow and moonlight meet. Her bow rests upon her shoulder, but it is not for war. It is for balance, It is for the rhythm between life and passing. For Artemis is not cruel, but just. She watches over deer as tenderly as she does maidens who wander alone. She protects both the trembling and the bold. Her eyes are keen, but her heart is steady. You drift deeper into her forest now. The earth is soft beneath your feet. Needles of pine give way without sound. Every step is swallowed by the moss, leaving no trace. An owl watches from a branch, its round eyes reflecting moonlight. It does not cry out, for it knows whose path you follow. Artemis walks ahead, though you cannot hear her. She is clothed in the silver of night, a veil woven of stars and shadows. Her hair falls like black water down her back, glinting where moonlight touches. She moves without pause, as if the forest itself opens to let her pass. And around her, the wild is safe. The hare in the thicket does not tremble. The stag drinking from the stream does not flee, for all creatures know her. They sense her promise, that under her gaze, the innocent are guarded. Long ago, they whispered her name not only as huntress, but as protector of the young, the gentle, the unseen. Maidens called upon her in the hush of night, trusting her shadow to stand beside them. Mothers left offerings at her groves, hoping her silver light would watch over their children. She was a goddess not only of arrow and chase, but of care, of shelter, of freedom. And so the forest veil is not only branches and leaves, it is her mantle of protection. It is the quiet certainty that no harm shall pass unnoticed beneath her moon. Pause here. Listen to the sound of a stream. Its water moves softly over stone, its song weaving through the hush of trees. The air cools as you near it, the mist heavier, the moon mirrored in its surface. Artemis kneels at the stream's edge. She dips her hand into the water, letting it flow across her skin. The ripples spread outward, circling in silver rings. Each ring seems to carry blessing. Each ring a promise that the waters of earth and sky remain pure. Her reflection shimmers, bending with each wave, but her eyes remain steady. They are calm, yet filled with endless watchfulness, for she sees what others cannot. The smallest stir in the forest, the faintest cry carried by wind. Nothing escapes the gaze of the huntress beneath the moon. There is a stillness now. The forest holds its breath. The deer lift their heads. The owls pause in their wings. Something moves deeper within the veil, not danger, not fear, but a presence. It is the sense of ancient rhythm, of wildness that has no name. And Artemis steps toward it, her bow lightly resting, her hand steady as the stars. The figure reveals itself as a stag, tall and radiant beneath the moon. Its antlers glow as if carved from ivory. Its breath rises in quiet clouds of mist. It does not flee nor bow. It meets her gaze, one guardian to another. For Artemis is not above the wild, nor apart from it. She is within it. She is its reflection. And in this meeting, silence itself becomes sacred. You follow her deeper still, through pine and oak, through shadow and silver. Every turn brings a new softness. A fox curled in a hollow, a nightingale's faint song, a stream trickling unseen. Each sight feels like a dream, each sound like a lullaby, for Artemis does not hurry. Her steps are as slow and measured as the drifting of clouds, and you drift with her, guided by the rhythm of the night. At times, she is called distant. She walks alone, wrapped in her veil of freedom. But solitude is not loneliness. It is clarity. It is the space where spirit and earth breathe together, and so in her stillness she teaches that to walk alone beneath the moon is not to be lost. It is to be found. It is to hear the voice of the forest and the song of the heart. For solitude is not emptiness. It is fullness. It is the gentle presence of the divine, unbroken, unbound. Now, the forest thins. The trees open to a clearing bathed in silver light. The grass glows pale, bending softly in the breeze. Here Artemis pauses. Her eyes lift to the moon, her eternal companion. The moonlight falls across her face like blessing. Her lips move in words too soft to hear. Perhaps a prayer, perhaps a song, or perhaps only silence, which in this place is prayer enough. The wild gathers at the edges of the clearing. Deer, foxes, birds, even the small hare sit in calm watchfulness. They know this is a sacred hour. They know the huntress is not only one of arrows, but of vows. Her vow to protect, to shield, to keep balance beneath the moon's silver gaze. You rest here, in her clearing. The grass is soft beneath you, the air cool upon your skin. Above, the stars turn slowly, like lanterns hung in the night. The moon steadies, her light unwavering. and Artemis stands, a shadow wrapped in silver, her bow resting, her eyes unbroken. The forest breathes around her. The creatures sigh in safety, and sleep folds over the land like a second veil. Drift now as the clearing fades. Drift as the moon softens, her light spilling across your dreams. Drift as Artemis turns once more into the forest, her footsteps soundless, her presence eternal. She remains there still, moving through pines, through streams, through shadows. Always the protector, always the silent guardian of the night. And as you rest, you too are within her veil. You too are safe beneath her moon. Let the forest close its arms around you. Let the silver light guide you deeper into calm. Let your breath follow the rhythm of the night, slow and soft, gentle and true. Now rest as the stars return. Let us drift onward, through sleep, through silence, through the silver veil of Artemis. The night is deep, and the stars are steady. Their light rests gently across the hills of Greece, where fields of barley and wheat lie silent, waiting for dawn. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of earth and grain. A soft wind stirs the stalks, and they move like waves in a dark sea. Far beyond the fields, there is a sacred place, a place where silence has held for centuries. It is Eleusis, the hidden heart of mysteries. Stone halls lie quiet beneath the moon, their walls carrying secrets older than kings. It is here the priestesses walk, their footsteps soft, their voices low, guarding the rights of life and death. The mysteries of Eleusis were never shouted, never written. They lived only in whispers, in torches flickering against stone, in the breath of hymns sung at midnight. The priestesses kept them safe as if tending a flame that must not die. Each ritual was a seed planted in silence, a seed that grew not in fields, but in the hearts of those who came. Demeter, the goddess of the grain, was the center of these rites. Her grief, her searching for her daughter Persephone, echoed in every chamber. For Persephone's descent into shadow and her return to the light was the story of all life. The dying seed, buried in earth, the sprout rising again toward the sun, the cycle unbroken, the mystery eternal. You walk now through the sacred halls. The floor is cool stone beneath your steps. Torches flicker along the walls, their flames swaying like slow dancers. Shadows bend and stretch, but never disturb the silence. The priestesses move ahead of you, robed in white. Their hair is bound with wreaths of myrtle, their hands carrying baskets of grain. They do not speak, yet their presence is calm, steady, like the quiet breathing of the earth itself. The temple feels endless. Every corridor is narrow and hushed, yet each leads deeper into wonder. The sound of the world fades here. Only the pulse of your own breath remains slow and gentle, like a river beneath the ground. The story of Demeter and Persephone fills these walls like a song without sound. The mother, weeping, searching the earth with a torch in her hand. The daughter, swallowed into shadow, seated beside Hades, lord of the underworld. The seasons frozen as grief covered the land. And then the bargain. Persephone's return, but never fully. For part of her belonged to the depths, and part to the light. This is the rhythm of life. Every birth carries the shadow of death. Every ending holds the promise of return. The seed falls, the seed rises. The earth mourns, the earth rejoices. And the priestesses remind all who enter, nothing is lost forever. You reach the innermost chamber. Here, the torches burn brighter, their smoke rising in thin spirals to the darkened roof. A stone altar waits, covered in sheaves of wheat, barley, and poppy blossoms. The air is thick with the smell of earth and harvest. The priestesses gather in a circle. Their eyes close, their hands lift, palms open to the unseen sky. And though their lips do not move, there is a hum. Soft, low, endless. A hum that seems to come from the stone itself, from the soil, from the breath of night. This is not a hymn to be heard. It is a hymn to be felt. The sound flows through you, as if your own chest carries it. It rises and falls like the seasons, like the tides of grief and joy. The mysteries were not meant to terrify. They were meant to comfort, to tell each soul that death was not an end, but a passage, a descent, yes, but also a return. In this chamber, you feel the truth of it. The air itself seems to hold the promise. When the stalk bends and falls, it is not lost. When the grain is buried, it is not gone. It sleeps, and in its sleep, it dreams of light. Then, when the time is right, it rises again, renewed. This was the gift of Demeter and Persephone. This was the secret guarded by the priestesses of Eloise, that in the silence of the tomb lies the seed of spring. That sorrow is not forever, but a bridge leading toward return. You rest upon the stone floor. The torches dim to a golden glow. The chant fades to a single note, low and steady. And in the stillness, images drift before your closed eyes. You see fields golden with grain. You see Demeter walking slowly, her hand brushing the wheat as it bends in the wind. You see Persephone rising from shadow, her face lifted toward the sun. Her steps light upon the earth. Mother and daughter embrace, and the world breathes again. The soil stirs. The seeds awaken. The blossoms open, and the cycle begins anew. The priestesses lower their hands. Their robes ripple softly, like waves in a quiet sea. They place the baskets of grain upon the altar, their eyes shining with reverence. No word is spoken, for none is needed. Silence itself is the teaching. The chamber begins to fade. The torches grow faint. The hum dissolves into stillness, and you drift backward, carried on the breath of the mysteries. Outside, the night still waits. The stars hang patient above the hills. The fields lie in shadow, but within them, seeds sleep. They wait for the sun, for the turning of time, for the moment of return. And as you rest, you too are part of this cycle, part of the silence, part of the renewal. Your breath rises and falls like the tides of earth. Your body lies still like a seed in soil, safe, unbroken, whole. Now let the chamber of Eleusis close behind you. Let the priestesses fade into shadow, their steps vanishing into the stone. Let Demeter's torch dim, leaving only the soft light of stars. You are safe in the rhythm of life and death. You are safe in the turning of the seasons. You are safe in the silence of Eleusis. Drift now as the fields dream. Drift as the grain bends in the wind. Drift as Persephone returns once more, carrying spring in her hands. And rest as the stars return. Let us drift onward, carried by silence, carried by the mysteries. The desert lies quiet under the Egyptian sky. The stars scatter like jewels upon dark velvet, unbroken by clouds, unbroken by wind. The sand stretches in every direction, smooth and endless, as though it too has fallen asleep. A pale moon hangs low, its light drifting across dunes that shimmer softly, like waves of golden silk. In the stillness, a sound begins to stir. It is faint, no louder than a breath. The soft ringing of a sistrum, a sacred rattle of bronze and reed. Its voice trembles in the night air, carrying the memory of laughter, of dance, of joy long ago. This is the realm of Hathor, the Golden One. She was called the Lady of Music, the Mistress of Love, the Mother of Mothers. Her name was spoken in temples and villages, in fields and in palaces, for where she walked, light followed, and where she sang, sorrow dissolved into sweetness. The temples of Hathor rose with wide gates and pillars carved with lotus and papyrus. Their walls glowed with paintings of dancers, women with flowing hair, men with flutes and drums. The air there was never heavy with silence, but alive with rhythm, the pulse of the earth in celebration. Her priestesses played the sistrum in endless circles, shaking it so its bronze discs sang like sunlight breaking into sound. Each note was an offering, each dance a prayer. For Hathor's worship was not bound in silence, but in joy. She was adored not in whispers, but in the open-hearted embrace of music, wine, and laughter. She was the goddess of warmth, the goddess of golden light, the goddess who carried the people through their days as a mother carries her child. You drift deeper into her presence now. You see her not as a figure of stone, but as a spirit woven into the air. Her face shines with the glow of the morning sun. Her crown carries horns of the cow, holding a disk of light between them. Her skin is warm as copper kissed by fire. Her eyes are gentle pools, deep as the Nile at dusk. She smiles, and the desert brightens. She laughs, and the palms seem to sway. Her voice is a song without words, yet it fills the heart like water filling an empty jar. You feel lighter in her presence, as though she has brushed sorrow from your shoulders, leaving only ease behind. Hathor was many things to many souls. To travelers, she was the guiding star that lit their path across the sands. To women, she was a guardian of birth and of life, the one who wrapped mothers in safety and infants in peace. To musicians, she was inspiration, the hand that taught the harp its voice and the drum its rhythm. To lovers, she was sweetness, laughter, and embrace. Yet to all, she was joy itself. Not fleeting joy like a flame that flickers and fades, but joy that is steady and golden, like the sun that rises each day without fail. Joy that holds, even when shadows stretch long. Joy that reminds every heart life is more than sorrow. It is also song. You walk now toward her temple. The sand cool beneath your feet. Palm trees rise like pillars in the night, their fronds rustling gently in the breeze. Ahead, torches glow. Their flames sway like dancers greeting you at the gates. Inside, the air is warm with incense. It smells of lotus, honey, and resin, sweet as the breath of spring. Musicians sit along the walls, their harps tall and shining, their drums carved from wood and stretched with leather. When they play, the sound rolls like the Nile, steady and soft. And the sistrum rings, its golden voice rising above all, calling Hathor's blessing into the hall. The priestesses dance in flowing linen. Their movements are gentle arcs, like the swaying of palms in wind. Their steps press against the stone floor as if weaving patterns invisible to the eye, yet felt in the heart. Each gesture is a prayer, each turn an offering, and through it all, Hathor's golden presence lingers. Warmth, laughter, sunlight woven into song. The myths of Hathor tell of her strength as well as her gentleness. Once, she was sent to punish humankind for their cruelty. Her eyes burned with wrath, and the earth trembled. But the gods softened her fury with red wine poured upon the fields. She drank, believing it to be blood, and her rage melted into laughter, her anger into peace. From that day, she became not the destroyer, but the comforter. Her temples were filled with music, her festivals alive with joy. The people remembered her as the goddess who turned away from wrath, choosing instead to pour love upon the world. And so, when they prayed to her, they did not do so with fear, but with smiles. They prayed with the rhythm of drums, with the sound of clapping hands, with the swaying of bodies in dance. For to honor Hathor was to celebrate life itself. You rest now within her temple. The music softens to a hum, a single thread of sound that lulls the air into calm. The torches flicker low, casting circles of golden light across the stone floor. A priestess places a garland of flowers at your feet. Lotus blossoms, their petals glowing faintly in the dim. Hathor's spirit moves through the hall like a warm breeze. You feel her hand, not seen but sensed, smoothing over your brow, steadying your breath. You feel her laughter, gentle and close like the ringing of silver bells deep within your chest. Her presence does not stir the mind but quiets it, as though she is reminding you, you are safe, you are loved, you are held in the golden song of life. The music fades. The dancers rest, their steps pausing like waves returning to shore. The sistrum falls silent, its bronze discs no longer shaking. And the temple grows still, yet even in the silence, Hathor's song continues. It lives in the steady rhythm of your heart. It lives in the warmth that spreads across your chest, as though the sun itself has settled within you. It lives in the soft breath you carry, rising and falling like the Nile, endless, eternal. The desert waits beyond the temple gates. The stars are unchanged, steady above the dunes. The moon still glows silver and calm, but the air feels different now. It carries the memory of music. It carries the golden touch of Hathor. As you step once more into the night, you are not alone. Her presence drifts with you, like sunlight woven into your very soul. She moves in every breath of wind, in every shimmer of sand, in every star above your head. Now, let the temple fade. Let the torches dim. Let the music dissolve into silence. Hathor's song is within you still, carrying you into rest. Breathe softly. Feel the warmth of her light, and let yourself drift into sleep as the stars return. Let us drift onward as the desert dreams. Let us drift as the golden song carries us through the night. The city of Rome rests beneath a velvet sky. Its stones, worn by centuries, hold the warmth of the sun now gone. The Tiber flows slowly like a silver ribbon, carrying reflections of the moon across its waters. Shadows stretch along marble columns, soft in the evening light. The air is still, touched only by the faint murmur of distant fountains. In the heart of this ancient city lies a temple. It is not vast like the Colosseum, nor crowded like the marketplaces. It is smaller, quieter. A circle of walls embraces a flame that never sleeps. The fire glows with a steady breath, its light softening the stone floor, its warmth kissing the night. This is the home of the Vestal Virgins, guardians of the eternal fire, daughters of silence, of discipline, of sacred duty. Their task was simple yet profound, to keep the flame alive, without end, without pause. For as long as the fire burned, Rome itself was said to endure. You step softly into this place. The scent of smoke lingers, not harsh, but comforting, like cedar and sweet resin. The fire flickers in its round hearth, painting the walls with golden light. Around it, the Vestals move in silence, their white robes flowing like moonlit rivers. They do not speak. Their steps are measured, graceful, unhurried. They bow their heads as though listening to the whispers of the flame. The temple feels alive, not with noise, but with presence. Every stone, every torch, every carved altar seems to breathe in rhythm with the fire. You feel it too, the quiet pulse of something eternal, something ancient and watchful. The Vestals were chosen as children, little girls, taken from their families, guided into the sacred life. Their voices, once filled with laughter, were trained into silence. Their hands, once playful, learned to tend the sacred fire with care. For 30 years they belonged to the temple. 10 years of learning, 10 years of serving, 10 years of teaching. Their lives became woven into the rhythm of the flame. They were more than servants. They were symbols. Symbols of purity, of balance, of Rome's unbroken spirit. As long as they kept the fire alive, the empire itself was said to endure. Imagine one of them now, a young woman in the quiet hours of night. The city sleeps beyond the temple walls, but she remains awake. Her eyes watch the flame, steady and patient. Her hands hold a bundle of olive wood, ready to feed the fire should it falter. She listens not to voices, but to silence. She feels not time, but eternity. Her heart beats slowly, like a drum heard from far away. The fire answers her with crackles, small bursts of light dancing upward, as though speaking in sparks. In her presence, the world seems still. Her vigil is not tiring, but calming. She does not resist the hours. She flows with them as though she too is a flame, steady and enduring. The fire itself was more than light. It was Rome's spirit. To the people, it was a promise that their city would last as long as the fire lived. It was warmth against the unknown. It was safety in a world that often felt fragile. The fire was not simply tended. It was loved. It was honored. And so the Vestals moved around it as though in a dance. When the morning came, they placed fresh flowers near the altar. When night fell, they carried wood and incense, feeding the fire as one feeds a child. Their devotion was never broken, never rushed. Theirs was a service measured not in hours, but in eternity. The world outside the temple was vast and restless. Rome was filled with soldiers, senators, merchants, travelers. Streets echoed with shouts, with wheels grinding against stone, with the cries of vendors calling out their goods. But here, inside the circle of the temple, none of that noise could reach. Here, there was only flame, only silence, only the slow, patient breathing of the sacred fire. And so the Vestals became more than guardians. They became sanctuaries in themselves. Wherever they walked, the people believed fortune followed. Their presence blessed marriages, harvests, treaties. They were Rome's quiet heart, beating softly beneath the roar of empire. The myths say that if the flame ever went out, Rome would fall into ruin. And so the burden was heavy, yet to the Vestals it was not a weight. It was a purpose, a reason to rise each morning, to move in harmony with something greater than themselves. The flame was not a prison. It was a guide. It gave shape to their days, like the river gives shape to its banks. It gave light to their nights, like the stars give light to the traveler. Through it, they learned patience. Through it, they learned strength. Imagine again the young Vestal at her watch. Her hair is bound simply, her robe white as new snow. She kneels before the fire, adding wood with quiet hands. The flame rises, stretching upward, its glow brushing her face. For a moment, she closes her eyes. Her breath matches the fire's rhythm. She inhales as it swells. She exhales as it softens. Her body and the fire are one. She dreams with her eyes open. Dreams not of herself, but of Rome held safe. Dreams of families gathering around meals, of children playing in courtyards, of soldiers returning home. Her vigil is not only for the fire, it is for them too, for all who live in the empire's embrace. The eternal flame whispers something deeper as well. It speaks not only to Rome, but to every soul. It says life is a fire.
It must be tended.
It must be cared for with patience, with devotion. It must be fed with kindness, with gentleness, with love. The Vestals knew this truth. Their service was not only to the empire, but to the mystery of being itself. They taught, without words, that even the smallest flame, kept alive with care, can outlast centuries. And so the temple stands in your mind now, a circle of stone holding the soft, eternal glow. The Vestals move quietly, their robes brushing the floor like whispers of snow. The fire sways, its warmth resting against your skin. The city outside fades further and further until only this moment remains. You rest by the flame. You let it calm you as it calmed Rome. Your breath follows its rhythm, rising, falling, like the dance of firelight. The night deepens. The stars turn slowly above. The world grows hushed, as though it too has entered the circle of the temple. Now the flame does not need tending. It burns steady in your heart. It carries you onward into dreams. Let its warmth remain with you. Let its light guide you gently. Now rest as the stars return. Let us drift onward in the glow of the eternal fire. Night falls softly over the ancient hills of Anatolia. The last glow of the sun fades behind the ridges. A hush spreads across the valleys, where rivers wind like silver threads under the rising moon. In this quiet landscape, the mountains stand like guardians, silent, ancient, immovable, and within them lives a spirit as old as stone, yet as tender as a mother's breath. Her name is Cybele, the mother of mountains. She was worshipped in groves and caves, in high places where the winds roam free, in temples where drums echoed like the heartbeat of the earth. Her presence was wild and vast, yet gentle as flowing water. To many she was both fierce and kind, untamed and protective, life-giver and guide. The people saw her in every peak that rose toward the clouds. They heard her voice in the thunder that rolled across valleys. They felt her warmth in the soil that birthed their crops, and in the milk of mothers who nursed their children. Cybele was not far, not distant. She was the earth beneath their feet, the forests that sheltered them, the rivers that quenched their thirst. Her shrines often stood at the edge of wilderness. Caves were her sanctuaries. There, the people lit candles before carved stones. Offerings of honey, milk, and flowers were left for her. And always there was music, the sound of flutes, the pounding of drums. The rhythm was deep, steady, grounding. It echoed the heartbeat of the world itself. Her followers called her the Great Mother. They danced in circles, their steps matching the roll of drums. The rhythm was not hurried, but steady, like waves against the shore. They swayed under the open sky, believing she moved with them, that she herself danced through their bodies, and that, through dance, they became closer to her wild, eternal spirit. They believed Cybele could bring fertility to the land. She blessed fields so they would yield grain. She gave life to orchards heavy with fruit. She gave strength to women in childbirth, and comfort to shepherds guarding their flocks under the stars. She was mother not only of humans, but of all living things, trees, rivers, animals, birds, and the restless winds that swept through mountain passes. Legends say she once loved a beautiful youth, Attis. In the soft telling of old stories, Attis was a symbol of spring itself, fresh, bright, full of promise. But tragedy struck as seasons always turn. The tale says he withered, as flowers do when winter comes, yet in her grief Cybele gave him rebirth. His spirit rose with the blossoms each year, a reminder that life, though it fades, returns again, that sorrow carries the seed of renewal. Through this story, people learned that death was not an end, but a pause in the great cycle. Every falling leaf was a promise of spring's return. Every quiet winter held within it the dream of green meadows. To sit in her presence was to sit in the heart of the earth. Imagine yourself beneath the mountain sky, where her spirit dwells. The stars are scattered like tiny seeds across the dark velvet above. The wind drifts slow and cool, carrying the scent of pine. In the distance, a drum sounds. Its echo rolls through valleys like a mother's call. You close your eyes and feel the earth beneath you steady and strong. You belong to it, as a child belongs to a mother's embrace. The worship of Cybele was not quiet alone. It was also vibrant, filled with sound and movement. Her festivals were alive with music. Cymbals clashed, flutes sang, drums rumbled like storm clouds. The people danced until night surrendered to dawn. They sought to lose themselves, to shed the weight of daily burdens, to merge with the freedom of the mountain mother. Yet beyond the wild joy, there was stillness too, a stillness that lingers even now, in the silence of ancient stones, for beneath all sound, beneath all rhythm, was her eternal presence, unchanging, nurturing, vast. Some called her by other names as her worship spread. In Phrygia, she was honored with high altars. In Greece, they knew her as the great mother of the gods. In Rome, her image was carried with reverence, for they believed her spirit protected the very foundations of the city. But no matter the land, No matter the tongue, her essence was always the same. She was the wild yet tender earth, the giver of strength, the cradle of all living things. In quiet moments, her followers sat in caves and mountainsides, listening to the sound of streams trickling over stones. The water's song was her whisper, the flicker of firelight on the cave wall was her gaze, and the steady earth beneath them was her body itself, endless, secure, eternal. To honor her, people learned to look not only at the heavens above, but also at the ground beneath their feet, to see the sacred not only in stars, but in the soil that nurtures seeds, the roots that hold the earth together, the patient stones that outlast all storms. In dreams, Cybele was often seen riding a lion-drawn chariot. The lions, fierce and proud, walked at her side as guardians. They symbolized her power, wild yet under her care. Through them, she showed that even the strongest forces of nature could be embraced within the arms of the Great Mother. The image was not meant to frighten, but to remind that within her embrace was the balance of gentleness and strength. She was both the soft rain and the roaring storm, both the gentle hand and the mighty force. The mountain itself, steady, unshaken. As the night deepens, imagine the mountains around you now. Their slopes lie under silver moonlight. The trees stand tall, shadows stretching across the ground. Somewhere, water flows unseen, its sound gentle, steady, like a lullaby. And in that stillness, you can feel her presence. A vast, mothering warmth, older than time. She cradles the valleys in her arms of stone. She watches over the rivers that shine under starlight. She whispers in the cool winds that brush against your skin. And she reminds you that you are never alone. You are held by the earth itself, as tenderly as a child rests in the arms of a mother. The people of long ago knew this. Though their festivals have faded, though their drums are silent, the earth still remembers. The mountains still carry her name. The stones still hum with her presence. Close your eyes and breathe with the mountains. Steady, slow, gentle. Each breath is the earth's breath. Each heartbeat is the drum of Cybele. Her spirit lingers in every rhythm, every silence, every star. Now the night grows deeper. The music of the drums fades, like footsteps drifting farther into memory. The caves grow quiet, the fires burn low. Yet the mother remains, eternal and still. Let her presence wrap around you, like a soft blanket of earth and sky. Let her strength carry you, like a gentle tide pulling you toward rest. And as you drift into dreams, remember that the mountains keep watch, the rivers keep singing, and the Great Mother Cybele holds you in her timeless embrace. Now rest, as the stars return to their silent watch. Now drift, as the drums of the earth slow into quiet. Now sleep, for the Mother of Mountains guards the night, and her song carries you home. Night falls upon the hills of Greece. The air grows cool. The sky is a deep indigo with stars like tiny embers scattered across the dome of heaven. A pale moon rises, silver and calm, casting its quiet glow on valleys and rivers. All is hushed, except for the whisper of leaves and the slow song of crickets. Yet from deep within the woods, a faint rhythm stirs. It is the beat of a drum, low and steady, like a heart pulsing in the dark, and with it comes the sound of footsteps, light and unbound, moving across the earth. This is the night of Dionysus, the god of wine, ecstasy, and release. And it is the night of his women, the Maenads, who gather by torchlight to honor him. They are cloaked in flowing garments. Their hair is loose, kissed by the wind. Torches flicker in their hands, golden flames swaying like living spirits. Around them, the forest seems to lean closer, as if it too wishes to hear their song. The women step in circles. They lift their voices in soft cries, not sharp, but deep and rhythmic. Like the hum of the earth itself, their dance is not hurried. It sways and bends like reeds moving with the river's tide. Each step is a prayer, each breath a release. They have come to leave behind the weight of the world, the burdens of sorrow, the aches of daily labor, the silent griefs carried in their hearts. All are loosened in the dance. Here, under the moon, they are no longer bound. They are free, vessels of joy, living flames of the god spirit. The world called them Bacchae, the women of Bacchus, another name for Dionysus, the ever-wandering one. But to themselves they were simply daughters of the night. They were seekers of healing. They were carriers of the divine. In their trance, the women found something greater than themselves. They felt the pulse of the god flow through their veins, as if wine itself was their blood, as if joy itself was their breath. They swayed with the vines of the earth, and they rooted themselves in the soil, becoming one with all that grows and all that dies and is born again. The torches glowed against the bark of ancient trees. Shadows danced with them like silent companions. The women's laughter rose, soft and melodic, not the laughter of mockery but of release. The kind of laughter that comes when sorrow dissolves, when grief finds rest, when the spirit remembers its own freedom. They called upon Dionysus, the twice-born. For he was born once of a mortal mother and again from the fire of Zeus. He was a god who had suffered loss and rebirth. And so he understood both joy and sorrow, both pain and release. In him the women found a mirror. They saw their struggles reflected, and they saw those struggles transformed into light. In myths, it was said the Maenads roamed mountainsides, their songs echoing across valleys, their torches glowing like wandering stars. But beyond the stories, there was always something quieter, something truer. It was the healing they carried within their trance, the way the dance smoothed the sharp edges of grief, the way the night air held them, the way the earth beneath them gave strength. To join in their mystery was to step outside time. The drumbeat slowed the heart. The torches guided the eyes into gentle light. The body moved without thought, flowing like a river, circling like the moon. And in that endless motion, one found peace. The women wore crowns of ivy. They held thyrsus staffs, wrapped with vines, symbols of life rising upward, always growing, always reaching for the light. To the world, these things were ornaments, but to the women, they were signs of connection. They were reminders that life is woven of roots and leaves, that the soul is as green and living as the earth itself. As the dance grew, their steps grew softer, not wilder, like waves that first rise, then fall into calm, like a flame that flickers high, then steadies into a gentle glow. And in that glow they felt Dionysus most clearly, not in the frenzy, but in the quiet joy that followed. For joy, they believed, was not only loud. It could be still. It could be the silence after laughter, the calm after music, the peace after tears. This was the true gift of Dionysus. Not only the freedom to shout, but the freedom to rest. Not only the release of grief, but the return of peace. Some said the women of Dionysus were dangerous, that they abandoned homes, that they raged in forests, that they lost themselves in madness. But the softer truth whispered through the night. They were women who longed to be whole, women who sought a God who listened, a God who knew both pain and joy, both hunger and fulfillment. Through the dance, they remembered that life was not a chain, but a song. And so, under the watch of stars, they lifted their voices again, low, steady, like waves touching the shore. Their song was not sharp but soft, a lullaby to themselves, to the god, to the earth. The flames of the torches began to sink lower. The night grew cooler. The women slowed their steps until the dance was no more than a gentle sway. The drum, once strong, now faded into silence. The circle loosened. Some sat upon the grass, heads resting against tree trunks. Others lay back, gazing at the stars, their hearts light, their spirits quiet. The mystery was complete, not because it had ended, but because it had brought them here, to stillness, to calm, to peace. In the deep hush of the forest, Dionysus was present. Not as a cry, but as a breath. Not as a flame, but as a glow. He was the soft rhythm of blood in the veins, the tender weight of sleep upon the eyes, the quiet joy that lingers when sorrow has gone. The women of Dionysus rested now, torches dim, hearts open, their bodies at ease upon the earth. Above them, the stars burned steady, ancient, patient, eternal. And so the night passed, not with frenzy, but with gentleness. Not with wildness, but with peace. Now imagine yourself among them. The torchlight glows warm upon your skin. The grass is cool beneath you. The stars above are silent companions. Your breath slows. Your heart softens. You feel the rhythm of the earth, the embrace of the night, the quiet blessing of the God who heals through joy. Here you are free. Free from sorrow. Free from burden. Free to rest, and as the forest sinks deeper into silence, so too do you. The last torch flickers low. The last voice drifts into hush. Only the stars remain, watching gently over the world. Let us drift onward now. Let the night carry you deeper. Let the women of Dionysus fade into dream. Their joy is now your rest. Their freedom is now your peace. Now sleep as the stars return to their eternal song. The night opens like a quiet flower. The stars shimmer above, resting in the deep velvet sky. A cool breeze drifts over still waters, carrying the scent of river reeds. All is calm, as though the world holds its breath, waiting for a gentle blessing. In this sacred hush, a lotus begins to rise. Its petals unfold in the silver light, soft and radiant. From within, a figure emerges, glowing like dawn reflected on water. It is Lakshmi, goddess of grace and abundance, the gentle mother of fortune, the bringer of harmony, the light of kindness. Her form is calm, clothed in flowing garments the color of rose and gold. Her hands raised in blessing shimmer with quiet promise. Coins slip from her palms, yet they fall not as hard metal, but as golden light, symbols of nourishment, symbols of care. At her feet the lotus blooms endlessly, reminding all that beauty rises even from the depths of still water. Where Lakshmi walks, there is no fear. Where she rests, hearts grow warm. Her presence is not thunderous. It does not demand. It soothes, like the rhythm of a river, like the softness of candle flame, like the breath of a sleeping child. In India, her name was whispered with reverence in homes and temples. She was honored at thresholds, welcomed into dwellings with lamps lit at dusk, their flames flickering like stars brought down to earth. For she was not only a goddess of riches, but of comfort, kindness, and the fullness of life. Her story begins with the great churning of the cosmic sea. The gods and the demons turned the waters of creation, seeking treasures hidden in its depths. From the froth and foam, from the endless waves of eternity, the lotus rose. And from the lotus, Lakshmi appeared, gentle, shining, serene. The world paused in her glow. The river slowed its course. The wind hushed its song. Even the stars leaned closer to see. For she was beauty, not harsh but tender. She was abundance, not heavy but light. She was fortune, not of greed but of grace. The people called upon her in times of harvest. They called upon her at new beginnings. They set lamps upon rivers, their flames drifting with the current, like tiny prayers floating to the horizon. Each light carried a hope, each spark a wish, each flame a reflection of her presence. In every home, she was welcomed with devotion, not with great noise, but with quiet reverence. A floor drawn with rangoli, patterns of flowers and dust. A lamp lit, its wick dipped in ghee, and with it, hearts softened. Families gathered. Peace entered like a guest who never leaves. Lakshmi was said to dwell where kindness bloomed, where a hand shared bread, where laughter flowed gently, where harmony rested between souls. Her blessing was not found in gold alone, but in the wealth of love, the abundance of gentleness, the fortune of inner calm. She walked with Vishnu, the preserver, her consort, the guardian of balance. Together they wove care into the fabric of the universe. He upheld the world, she filled it with sweetness. He carried its weight, she carried its grace. At festival nights her image was adorned with garlands of marigold. The air was filled with incense, fragrant as blossoming fields. Children laughed softly. Women lit rows of lamps. Men offered grains and flowers. The world shone, not with thunder, but with tender joy. In the stories, her lotus was more than a seat. It was a symbol of purity, a reminder that one may rise unstained from even the murkiest waters. It was a lesson carried in silence, that peace can bloom from struggle, that beauty can open from the depths. The lotus drifts upon still waters, rooted below, reaching upward. So too the soul. It may rest in the world's soil, but it rises toward the sun, toward clarity, toward light. Those who prayed to Lakshmi were not only asking for wealth, they were asking for harmony, for the soft glow of well-being, for the balance of plenty and peace. And in her gentle way, she gave not coins of weight, but gifts of spirit, contentment, compassion, the fullness of heart that asks for nothing more. Her laughter was said to echo like flowing water. Her eyes shone like cool moonlight. Her touch was as soft as the petals of her lotus. Where she stepped, the land grew fertile. Where she glanced, sorrow eased. Where she smiled, peace followed. She was not far, never far. Even now her presence lingers in quiet corners, in the kindness of a stranger, in the food placed before the hungry, in the lamp lit at night to guide the way, in the calm of one who has found contentment. To call her name is to invite gentle abundance. Not the abundance of excess, but the abundance of enough. enough to live, enough to love, enough to rest. This is her true gift, the fortune of a peaceful heart. Now the river glimmers with the reflection of countless lamps. They drift downstream, each a small sun, each carrying a prayer of gratitude. The night is alive with the hush of water, the fragrance of flowers, the tender hum of distant chants. Lakshmi stands upon her lotus, hands raised in blessing. Her golden light spreads like dawn. It settles upon the river. It settles upon the trees. It settles gently upon you. Feel the warmth of her glow. Feel the calm of her presence. The worries of the day soften. The weight of the world grows light. Your breath is slow, steady, at ease. Like the lotus, you too rise from still waters, calm, pure, serene. The lamps drift farther into the distance. The chants fade into silence. Only the stars remain, scattered like lotus petals upon the sky. They keep their quiet watch as Lakshmi's blessing lingers. Now the night draws you deeper. The river carries you gently onward. The lotus folds its petals in rest. The goddess smiles softly, her golden light wrapping around you like a warm cloak. Let us drift onward now. Let the stars return to their watch. Let Lakshmi's gentle lotus remain in your heart, a symbol of peace, a promise of abundance, a quiet guide towards sleep. Rest now, as the night carries you into dreams, where rivers shine and the goddess's blessing follows, soft as moonlight, endless as the sky. The night is hushed. A silver moon rests in the sky, casting soft light across the earth. A breeze drifts through tall trees, their branches moving like quiet dancers. The air is cool, gentle, and still. In this stillness, you sense a presence, not a figure, but a force, not seen with the eyes, but felt with the heart. It is the pulse of creation itself. It is Shakti, the living power. Shakti is energy. She is the rhythm of the tides. She is the spark in the flame. She is the breath within every being. When rivers flow, it is her song. When flowers bloom, it is her touch. When hearts beat, it is her dance. She is not far away in hidden realms. She is near, closer than breath, present in every leaf, every drop of rain, every glance of sunlight. She is the spirit that moves the stillness that holds the spirit. In the ancient temples of India, her presence was honored with chants. Soft voices rose at dawn, repeating her names like beads of light. Durga, fierce protector. Parvati, gentle mother. Kali, dark and endless night. Each form a reflection, each name a doorway to her power. The temples glowed with oil lamps. Their flames trembled like tiny stars. Incense smoke curled upward, slow and graceful, like prayers finding their way into the sky. All around, the air was alive with her breath. Shakti is the river that never stops. She flows through mountains and valleys. She flows through thought and dream. She flows through silence, reminding all things to move, to change, to grow. She is the mother of all worlds. Her energy gave birth to gods and goddesses. Her spirit wove the fabric of the universe. Every sound, every color, every heartbeat is her gift. Without her, there would be no dawn, no stars, no song. To honor Shakti is to honor life itself. It is to bow to the force that keeps the earth spinning. It is to whisper gratitude for every breath. In stillness, she is there. In movement, she is there. Her dance never ends. In the stories, she rose when balance was broken. When shadows grew strong, when the earth trembled in fear, she appeared. A lion carried her across battlefields. Weapons shone in her many hands. Her eyes blazed with protection. Her roar scattered the darkness. She was fierce, yet her fierceness was love. Love defending the world from harm. Yet Shakti is not only fire, she is also the quiet water. She is the mother who soothes, the gentle one who holds the child, the beloved who listens, the friend who stays. In Parvati, she is patience. In Saraswati, she is wisdom. In Lakshmi, she is kindness. Shakti wears many forms, yet she is always one power. always one spirit, always flowing. The sages spoke of her as the serpent of energy, coiled deep within each being. They called her Kundalini, sleeping at the base of the spine. When awakened, she rises upward, a current of light, a river climbing the mountain of the body. As she rises, the soul shines brighter. The mind becomes still. The heart opens wide. Even in rest, she is present. In dreams, she whispers. In silence, she hums. Her song is endless, woven into the hum of the universe. To sit in her presence is to feel alive. Not rushed, not restless, but deeply alive. It is like sitting beside a great river. The current moves, yet you are calm. The water flows, yet you are steady. Her power is not to control. Her power is to create, to nourish, to remind all things of their true light. Imagine now a temple at twilight. Its walls are carved with stories of gods and goddesses. Torches flicker along the stone. The air carries the sound of distant drums, slow and steady like the earth's heartbeat. Within the temple, a statue glows with garlands. Offerings of flowers rest at her feet. 1,000 petals open toward her, each one a prayer, each one a whisper of devotion. Her presence fills the air like fragrance, invisible yet undeniable. You walk closer, and though the statue is still, you feel the power that it represents. Not stone, not metal, but living energy, moving through the world even now. Outside, the night grows deeper. The stars spread across the sky, each one glowing softly, each one a spark of Shakti's fire. The moon drifts higher, a lamp lit above the world. The earth breathes in silence, held in her embrace. Even the smallest insect carries her spark. Even the tallest mountain is shaped by her will. Her power is not a storm, but a steady pulse. Her strength is not destruction, but creation. Her voice is not loud, but eternal. To rest in her story is to feel safe. The universe is vast, yet it is cared for. The world is fragile, yet it is protected. Life is fleeting, yet it is endlessly renewed. Shakti is the thread that ties all things together. She is the rhythm beneath the silence. She is the flame within the heart. Now the night grows still again. The drums fade, the lamps grow dim. Only the stars remain, quiet, patient, watching. Let the thought of Shakti settle within you. Feel her as warmth in your breath. Feel her as softness in your chest. Feel her as calm in your mind. Her power is here, and it is gentle. It does not rush. It does not fade. It is always present, always flowing, always kind. Like the river, she carries you forward. Like the flame, she lights your path. Like the earth, she holds you steady. Now rest, as Shakti's song lingers. Rest, as her power moves quietly within you. The stars above are her eyes, watching with love. The moon is her lamp, glowing with tenderness. The earth beneath you is her body, steady and safe. Sleep comes gently now. The living power cradles you. The night carries you. The goddess smiles, her endless energy humming softly, like a lullaby. Let us drift onward, into stillness, into rest, into peace. The night is quiet. Above, the sky stretches wide and endless. The gentle wind carries the cool breath of the earth. Stars glimmer faintly, like distant fires, like seeds of light. Yet far beyond the stars, beyond the deep silence of the sky, there is the sun, hidden now, yet always present. Its warmth rests in memory, its glow sleeps behind the horizon, and from the sun, in stories told long ago, came the daughters of light, maidens of radiance, guardians of time, keepers of the golden cycles. The daughters of the sun were not bound to earth. They moved between worlds, carrying warmth in their hands. They guided seasons, watched over harvests, and measured the passing of days. Without their touch, the world would fall into stillness. With their presence, life rose again and again, like dawn after the night. Their hair was woven of sunlight. Their steps shimmered like fire on water. Their voices were soft, like the morning breeze through tall grass. They were not fierce nor distant. They were gentle. They were steady. They were warmth made into form. In the far north, old songs tell of 3 shining maidens, daughters of the sun herself. They lived in a golden hall where day was born each morning. When they opened the doors, light poured across the world. When they closed them, night returned. Farmers looked to them, praying for kind seasons. Mothers whispered to them, asking for the health of children. Sailors remembered them, trusting their light to guide across seas. For the daughters of the sun were givers of rhythm, makers of order, guardians of hope. In another land, far to the east, the daughters were sisters who drew the sun across the sky. They held golden reins, guiding a chariot of fire. The horses breathed flame, but the sisters' touch was tender. They kept the sun steady, neither too near nor too far, so that the earth could live. Every morning they lifted the day. Every evening they laid it down. Their journey was eternal, yet never heavy. Like dancers, they moved with ease, graceful in their duty, beautiful in their endless care. The daughters of the sun were not only light, they were also time. Each dawn was their promise. Each dusk was their reminder that all things move in circles, that life begins, fades, and returns again. When flowers withered, they whispered of blossoms to come. When the fields emptied, they promised the return of grain. When the night seemed endless, they held the memory of dawn. Their gift was not only warmth, but trust. Trust in cycles. Trust in return. In some stories, they were keepers of threads. They spun golden strands that stretched across the sky. Each strand was a season. Each strand was a life. Softly, patiently, they wove the fabric of fate. No thread was wasted. No thread was forgotten. All were part of the great design. To see them weave was to watch sunlight upon water, gleaming, shifting, always changing, yet always whole. In villages, when children asked why the sun rose, elders spoke of the maidens. They said the daughters smiled each dawn, lifting the world from its sleep. When asked why the sun set, they said the maidens grew tired, laying the day down to rest. These gentle tales taught the young that even light needs rest, that even warmth needs pause. The daughters were guides not only for crops and sky, but also for hearts. They reminded the world that endings are not forever, that darkness is not the end. Always, light returns. Always, warmth comes back. Imagine now a quiet meadow. The grass is tall, swaying slowly in the night wind. Beyond the hills, the horizon glows faintly, a soft promise of dawn. It is there the daughters wait. Their presence lingers in the air, like warmth held in memory, like a gentle song just beyond hearing. You sense them, though the eyes cannot see. Their steps ripple through the grass. Their laughter shines in the stars. Their hands reach out to steady the turning of the world. The night is calm because of them. The morning will come because of them. The world breathes in rhythm because they guide its pulse. Some called them goddesses. Some called them sisters. Some called them simply light. But all who spoke of them felt the same comfort. The comfort of knowing that life is watched over, that time is cared for, that the sun does not forget its path. They were not distant rulers. They were companions, walking beside humankind, carrying torches, smiling softly, whispering reassurance. In the deep silence of winter, when nights stretched long, the daughter's story gave hope. Families gathered around fires, telling how the maidens would soon lift the sun higher. Snow would melt, seeds would grow, the warmth would return. In the burning heat of summer, people also remembered them, for even as the sun blazed strong, the daughters kept balance. They guided the fire gently, ensuring it would not harm, but nourish. They were balance itself. They were care itself. Now, as the night continues, imagine them walking across the sky. Their robes trail with golden light. Their hair shimmers with fire, yet their faces are calm, their eyes tender. They are not hurried. They are not burdened. They move with ease, for they are harmony. Every star they pass seems to bow in respect. Every breeze they touch grows softer. Every moment they pass through becomes more gentle, more whole. And so the world turns. The cycles repeat. The daughters of the sun keep their eternal watch. They are here, though unseen. They are present, though beyond touch. Their gift is not only light. Their gift is the reminder that you are part of the cycle too. That your days, like the seasons, have their rise, their rest, and their return. There is no end, only flowing. There is no loss, only change. There is no darkness that will not someday open to dawn. The night now deepens. The stars glow brighter. The wind grows softer. And still, the daughters keep their watch, beyond the edge of sight. Rest now as they guide the wheel of time. Rest as they prepare the dawn. The warmth of the sun is already on its way. The golden maidens carry it, step by step with endless care. Sleep beneath their blessing. Sleep within their cycle. Let their light cradle you, soft as the first morning rays, steady as the turning of the earth. Let us drift onward, into silence, into peace, into rest. The night has deepened. Candles flicker in their quiet watch. Soft shadows lean against stone walls, like old memories resting. Outside, the moon hangs low, its pale silver flowing across the earth. A hush lingers in the air, as if the stars themselves have paused their song. You enter gently, as though stepping into a sanctuary. The world behind you is fading. The world before you glows with stillness. In this stillness, there is a figure. She waits, not in grandeur, not in gold, but in silence. Her skin is dark as night, her eyes deep as rivers. She is called the Black Madonna. Her image rests in quiet chapels, on mountains, in valleys, in corners where pilgrims kneel and whisper their longing. Her face is both mother and mystery. Her arms open, not to command, but to embrace. Some say she carries the memory of the earth, soil and stone pressed into her being. Her darkness is the night sky, holding stars in secret folds. She is not distant. She is near, a mother who kneels so her child may rise. In villages long ago, farmers would leave their fields to walk dusty roads, climbing hills to meet her gaze. They brought candles, flowers, and prayers that trembled like wind through wheat. They did not ask her for crowns. They asked her for comfort, for rain when the soil was dry, for bread when the table was bare, for courage when shadows grew heavy. The Black Madonna is not a queen on a throne. She is a mother who knows sorrow. Her face is marked, sometimes by time, sometimes by smoke, sometimes by tears. She does not turn away from pain. She gathers it. She holds it close, as if pain itself is a child that needs rest. In her silence, she teaches. Love is not only light. It is also shadow. It is not only laughter. It is also tears. She reminds us the divine hides in the broken, the worn, the forgotten corners of life. Legends tell of her statues found in caves, buried under soil, carried through storms. Always she returns, as though the earth itself refuses to let her go. Pilgrims who gaze upon her often feel a quiet warmth, a sense that she understands what words cannot reach, for in her dark embrace is a mirror, a reminder that even the heaviest grief is not beyond love, that even the night carries the seed of dawn. Imagine now a small stone chapel. The air is cool, heavy with incense and candle smoke. A simple altar glows in soft gold light. Before it stands the Black Madonna. Her wooden face is worn smooth by centuries of touch. Her robes are painted with faded blues and reds, like old skies at twilight. A pilgrim enters.
His journey has been long.
His feet are sore, his heart even more so. He kneels not with grand words, but with silence. He lets the weight of his sorrow fall into her gaze, and in that gaze he feels no judgment, only presence, only a mother's patience. Some say the Black Madonna is the hidden face of Mary, Mother of Christ. Others whisper that she is older still, a memory of earth goddesses woven into Christian prayer. But here, such questions do not matter. Here she is what she has always been, a gentle strength, a night sky that does not frighten but comforts. Her darkness is a cradle, her silence a song too deep for words. In paintings and statues she often holds a child. The infant rests in her arms, small hand lifted, as if blessing the world. The child shines like dawn. The mother holds like night. Together they form a circle, sun and moon, light and shadow, hope and endurance. The pilgrims who see them remember this circle. They remember that sorrow and joy do not live apart. They turn like seasons, always returning, always embracing. You too may feel her presence now, not as a figure carved in wood, but as a warmth in the quiet, as a hand upon your shoulder, soft, unseen, as a lullaby you have always known, but long forgotten. She is the voice that tells you it is enough, that you may rest, that you may release the burdens you carry. She does not demand. She only receives. Like the earth receives the seed, like the night receives the weary. Across Europe, her images stand in chapels and cathedrals, Black Madonnas of France, of Spain, of Poland, of mountains and valleys, each with a story, each with a miracle, each with a faithful crowd lighting candles at her feet. Some travel for days, barefoot on stone paths, to touch her robe. They whisper prayers of sickness, prayers of hunger, prayers of longing, and they return, not always with answers, but with peace. For her embrace is not a solution. It is a shelter strong enough to carry them through the storm. The Black Madonna teaches that even the night has its grace, that even in darkness life breathes. Seeds wait beneath soil, dreams sleep within hearts. Hope, unseen, still stirs. She is the reminder that the divine lives in shadows too, in caves, in wounds, in long winter nights, not only in golden light, but also in the quiet blackness that heals. So now, as you drift, imagine her arms around you, not heavy, not demanding, only steady, only soft, like the night holding the stars, like earth holding roots, like a mother holding her child. You may rest there. You may release your weight. You may let your thoughts fall silent as her silence gathers them like fallen leaves. The chapel fades. The candles grow dim. The pilgrim walks home, steps lighter than before. Above him, the sky is wide, dark, endless. And in that endless dark, a mother waits still. The Black Madonna, protector, comforter, hidden face of love. She does not leave. She is always near, in the quiet corners, in the tender nights, in the unseen depths where love takes root. Now the night deepens again. The stars lean closer. The air grows softer. The earth cradles you as gently as her embrace. Let her presence stay with you, a steady hand, a quiet warmth, a mother of night, guiding you through shadows, reminding you of dawn. Let us drift onward into the deeper stillness. Now rest as the stars return and the Black Madonna keeps watch. The night has become tender. A hush lies across the earth. The winds are soft, like the breath of a mother leaning over a sleeping child. Above, the stars open their silver eyes, while they look down, watching in silence. They do not hurry. They do not fade. They simply glow as they have for all time. You drift among them. You feel their ancient light falling gently across your face. Each star is a memory. Each memory is a flame, and together they weave a story. The story of the eternal feminine light. From the beginning of ages, when rivers first sang through stone, there was the presence of her. She had many names and many forms, yet always the same essence. She was Inanna, goddess of the morning star, rising with courage, descending with grace. She was Isis, gathering the broken pieces of love, restoring life with patience and song. She was Shakti, the living power, the heartbeat that moves all creation. She was Mary, mother of tenderness, who cradled sorrow and turned it into compassion. She was the Black Madonna, dark and deep, holding the hidden strength within all suffering. She was the Sun Maiden, daughter of light, guiding the seasons, weaving warmth into fields of grain. Across cultures, across centuries, her light has never vanished. Like a thread of gold, it moves through time, binding stories together. Sometimes she is gentle rain. Sometimes she is fierce flame. Sometimes she is quiet night. Sometimes she is radiant dawn, but always she is presence. She is care. She is the hand that lifts, the voice that soothes, the warmth that endures. In ancient temples, priests sang her praises to the sound of drums and flutes. Her statues were dressed in flowers, in silks, in jewels. In small homes, women whispered her prayers as they baked bread, as they nursed children, as they swept doorways in the morning light. On mountain paths, pilgrims carried candles to her shrines. Their steps were weary, but their hope glowed steady. Always she answered, not always with miracles, but with presence. Her light did not promise escape. Her light promised companionship. that no path was too lonely, no night too long. The eternal feminine light is not far away. It is here, in the quiet rhythm of the breath, in the gentle rise and fall of the chest, in the steady beating of the heart. It is in the soil that waits for seed. It is in the waters that cradle fish. It is in the fire that warms, and in the air that carries whispers. It is in you, woven like dawn into your being. Imagine now a great tapestry. It stretches beyond sight, woven with threads of silver, gold, and shadow. On this tapestry are all the faces of the divine feminine. Some are radiant, some are veiled, some are fierce, some are tender. Together they form one image, a vast figure of light and love whose arms spread wide, embracing the whole of creation. This is the eternal feminine light, not one goddess, not one mother, but the essence of all, a presence without end. When you feel lost, her thread is there. When you feel weary, her hands are there. When you feel broken, her voice is there whispering softly, "You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are held in light." Long ago, sailors prayed to her when they faced dark seas. Farmers prayed to her when clouds hid the sun. Children prayed to her when night frightened their dreams. And still today, her light remains. Even when not named, even when not seen, it flows quietly, guiding the soul. You may feel it now, like a soft glow within the chest, like a gentle river moving slowly through the body. It brings no fear. It asks for nothing. It only reminds you that you are part of something vast, something tender, something eternal. Her light carries you as the ocean carries the boat, as the roots carry the tree, as the womb carries the child. The eternal feminine light is not only in myths, it is in the kindness of strangers, in the patience of teachers, in the laughter of children, in the tears of those who forgive. It shines wherever compassion breathes. It shines wherever love refuses to end. Now imagine again the night sky. Each star is a window to one of her faces. Venus glows with Inanna. Sirius glows with Isis. The moon holds Mary. The deep sky cradles the black Madonna. Each light is different. Each light is the same. All together, they form a crown, resting not on a throne, but upon the whole earth. And the earth sleeps peacefully under that crown of light. You are part of that crown too. Your breath rises with the stars. Your dreams float into her great tapestry. You are carried gently, without effort, without fear. Her eternal presence surrounds you. Her eternal light guides you. Her eternal embrace holds you. Let the night deepen. Let the body soften. Let the mind rest. The eternal feminine light is here still. A quiet song without end. A steady flame that never fades. Sleep, knowing you are wrapped in her embrace. Sleep, knowing her thread is woven through you. Now rest as the stars return. Let us drift onward into the endless, tender light.